Hey, I'm Jason. I'm an amateur astronomer from Eastern Canada, and this is where I learn how to do sky things.
All right, it's Friday morning, and this evening I'm going to Kejimkujik National Park. I planned this trip months ago. It's a camping trip at Keji, and Keji is a black site, or a dark site rather. So I've been really excited. You know, months ago when I booked this, there's no way, of course, to tell if it's going to be clear or not. So I've just been sort of keeping my fingers crossed. Unfortunately, all week it's been calling for nothing but rain, and so I was not very hopeful. I was barely really even planning how I'm going to actually take photos at this place. But the weather as of today has sort of softened a bit. It's still really uncertain, but now it's just calling for basically partly cloudy. So I'm going to go prepared and hope for the best. Even if I get a little bit of time. I've never been to a dark site before, so I'm really excited for this. I did pick up Skywatcher Star Adventurer 2 or Pro, and so I got that for this trip and for future trips as well. So I've never used it. I don't have a Jackery power bank or any sort of 12-volt battery bank, which means that my options of what I bring and how I do this are pretty limited. I do have a really big 5-volt battery pack. It's got, I think, 2,800 milliamp hours, so I can pull 2.8 amps, I guess, for 10 hours roughly. So that's kind of the plan. Unfortunately, it's 5 volts, not 12, so I can't bring the ASI or Pro, which does mean that there's going to be a much more manual night. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'll have to align this thing by hand. Hope I do a good job at that. I've never aligned this mount before, and to be totally fair, when I started astronomy, I very quickly got a pole master, so I really got very limited experience actually aligning these things by hand. But I'm not afraid of it. I won't have a guide camera or anything like that, which means that I need to really make sure I get a good polar align. And I won't be bringing a dedicated camera. I'm going to bring the camera that's actually taking this video, which is a Nikon D7100. That way it's got its own battery. The battery pack can keep the mount powered, and that'll basically be it. I've got an intervalometer, which again has its own batteries, so that'll keep going, or keep the whole show going. So I'm gonna probably be looking to do Andromeda. So sorry, I didn't mention. So I've taken the whole mount off because I'm gonna be taking the Raptor with me, which again was kind of the original motivation for getting this trip. Getting the Raptor was this trip. So I'll be shooting the Raptor, nice wide field. I've really been struggling with Andromeda, and I was making a stupid mistake. So either I was shooting it totally unfiltered, which with the light pollution just sort of washed the whole image out. I was able to get some amount of detail, but I really never got color. It was always just totally white and washed out. And some of that is definitely my processing skills, which are extremely limited, especially when it comes to galaxies. But honestly, I think just the light pollution and just doing it completely unfiltered was not great. Then I've also tried it with I've seen a lot of people online using Optolong filters. So I put in the L Extreme, and which never really made a lot of sense to me because I was thinking it's a galaxy, it's very broadband. It doesn't make sense to put on a narrowband filter, or a duo band in this case, I guess. And it never really occurred to me that, the L Extreme and the L Enhance are very similar, but the L Pro, which is actually what most people are using, is the exact filter that I should be using for this. It isn't a narrowband, it actually is just broadband, but cutting out emission lines surrounding common sources of light pollution. So I picked up an L Pro, which I'm really looking forward to because it's going to make this a lot better, all the galaxy shooting that I do a lot better. And with the RASA, I think it'll probably be fine at f2. I mean, yeah, with it being broadband, I don't see that being a problem. And then, so back in March, I also ordered, I really struggled with galaxy season. This telescope, it can take great pictures of Andromeda with a focal reducer. You can kind of get in a picture of the Triangulum Galaxy or Whirlpool Galaxy, but they're fairly small. But there's just so many galaxies through galaxy season that I'd love to take a picture of, but they're just basically pinpoints at 715 millimeters. So back in March, I ordered an Edge HD 11, but because of all the pandemic craziness and whatnot, Celestron's been notoriously out of stock, more so than I think almost any other company. So I'm just kind of fingers crossed, hoping to get it maybe this calendar year. But certainly I really hope to have it before next galaxy season. So then I could have that super high magnification telescope combined with the L Pro, and I plan to hit galaxy season, head on. Especially now that I've got the observatory, so I can have things really nice and stable. I'm really looking forward to that challenge. And I'm sure at that focal length, everything is a challenge. But yeah, so back to this trip though. So So that's basically the plan. I'm going to be doing this really manually. And that's assuming that I even get some clear sky. But I imagine no matter what, just being at a dark site, if we even get a glimpse of the stars by eye, I think it'll be pretty impressive. I've been to some very dark places, and I'm in Nova Scotia, up in Cape Breton around the Cabot Trail. There's some extremely dark areas, but to my knowledge, none of them are an official dark site like Keji is. So that's about it. I'm gonna now kind of disassemble all this, get the Raptor fitted onto the camera, make sure that I have all the bips and bops all set up. I will take some extra supplies, but I really want to have this thing fully assembled and tested. Maybe if I can't even get it into focus, just so I know that I don't need to rely on having a particular spacer or anything like that. And that's about it. So yeah, wish me luck.
Jeff and I are at this dark site in, where are we at? Kejimkujik National Park. We are at the Sky Circle, is that what it's called?
It's the Sky Circle.
It's the Sky Circle. It's a circle made for sky. And you can see behind me, sort of in the darkness, there's like this cool sort of circle where you can go and see sky things. Pretty dope. We're gonna try to see some Andromeda at this dark site. Hey, so I think I'll debrief a little bit later, but we had what I think is a pretty successful night of astrophotography. Didn't get off to a great start. I forgot some cables. The mount's not connected to the ASI Air Pro, but there was power, and I think I got some really nice shots of Andromeda for the first time. So I'll talk more about it in a little while, but yeah, really looking forward to getting this thing home. It's been a great camping trip and really great astronomy. I got a ride. I'm riding in the back of a truck back to the campsite. It's only like a few minute walk, but it's kind of just fun. Yeah. All right, well, it was an awesome camping trip and we had some really, really good weather for astronomy. It was kind of funny, I thought I came so prepared. I brought as much stuff as I possibly could, and yet I still forgot a couple of really key components, in particular the cable that connects the ASI Air Pro to the mount. So I was able to kind of cheat. I was using the ASI Air, so I was able to do the polar alignment with plate solving, which was awesome. However, because I didn't have the mount connected, it meant that I had to manually find the target, which was kind of fun, but it did mean though that it took a little while for me to find it, and when I did, I was in probably the worst orientation I could have been in with the camera on the Raptor, and it was possible for me to adjust it a little bit, but I couldn't rotate it as much as I needed. I needed to basically do a 90-degree turn, and I couldn't because the focuser knob was going to hit the telescope mount and stuff like that. So because I had taken so long to find the target and we wanted to get back and have a fire, I just sort of left it. And so, that's it. That is what it is. Not ideal, but I was just excited to, get some photos in. The other really obnoxious thing is that the meridian flip needed to happen kind of at an annoying time. It happened, I think, at about 1 a.m. and we went to bed long before that. So I kind of lost a lot of time, in the rest of the night, which I really wish I had have gotten, because the image actually, all things considered, really wasn't too bad. I'm going to show it here in just a second, but I really wish that I had that extra few hours before, before the night was over. But so basically, wasn't super happy with that photo, but was really glad to have the experience trying to take it. So I came home, next clear night, I decided to just stick the Rasa on it, and I've taken what I think is a better photo, definitely the best photo in my opinion that I've taken so far, which I will also show. However, there's still a lot of work to do. What I think I need to do now is go to a darker site where light pollution is not a big issue, and actually do a narrowband RGB image of Andromeda. That's my next goal. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.